Well, welcome to the Masters of travel series. My name is John Warner. I'm the president of Mass Travel Network. We're a network of over 200 travel agencies with about 1,600 travel advisors specializing in travel all over the world and to many exotic destinations and certainly throughout Europe in particular. And they also plan a lot of very upscale luxury trips with uh, for clients that are looking for very special experiences and memorable times with their families and friends. And so we're very excited today to welcome one of our luxury suppliers that provide some of these extraordinary experiences that our travel advisors are planning for their customers. So I wanted to welcome Diana Harris, who's managing director and partner for Arts and Leisure USA. So Diana, tell us a little bit more about yourself and your role with the company.
Well, thank you, John, for having me, and welcome to everybody who's participating today. Uh, I have been with the company since 2017, and that's when we created Arts and Leisure USA. The company has been in business since 1993, and we're based in Toronto, Canada. Adriana Borghese, who's the owner and founder, her vision was to move into the United States. And so we met through a mutual friend. We clicked, we opened up Arts and Leisure USA, and then we opened up an office in Italy 2 years ago. So I take care of all of the United States. I do a lot of the sales missions, and I have people that work under me to do the sales missions for to the travel agencies.
It's wonderful. And I know your business within the United States has been growing and more customers are uh, traveling through arts and leisure. So one of my first questions is about the name. I mean, how did you arrive at the name or um, the name of arts and leisure? How did that come about?
Well, the thing is, you know, arts encompasses, many, many aspects. So it's not just paintings or it's not just sculptures. It's a passion that, each and every person can have. So it can be a passion for culinary, because the culinary is an art. It could be for wine, it could be for archaeology, it could be for photography. It is whatever inspires you. And so that's why we have the arts part, but we also have the leisure part because it's important to be entertained. It's important to have fun. It's important to relax. It's it's all about the moment, living in the moment. It's like la dolce vita, the sweet life. A lot of people, when they go on vacation, they're hurrying from one place to another, to another, to another. And then when you ask them at the end of their trip, oh, what did you like best, or what was the best moment? They're like, well, I don't know. Well, we went through that. So it's
Yeah,
really
right.
relaxing. Sit in a cafe, have a gelato,
Yeah.
look at the people, take everything in. And so that's why we have leisure.
Yeah, well, I couldn't agree with you more, and that's definitely a big reason why people travel. And so I know that every trip that Arts and Leisure plans is meticulously designed for each client because everybody's has different objectives and they're looking to have a different experience. How do your tour designers work with their client's travel advisor to create the right trip for a client?
So our travel designers are a wealth of knowledge and experience. We have them, based in Toronto and Victoria and Italy. And we ask a lot of questions because we're very hands-on. We're not an online booking company. It doesn't work that way. We have to find out who the clients are, how they've traveled, what their interests are, so we can really dig deep. We can enhance their experience. We can wow them. I mean, our goal is really to create a seamless trip. And so we do this with the interaction because it is a partnership. because we work with the travel advisor partners who work with the clients, and so they're the conduit, so we do work through the travel advisor so we can create the perfect trip for the clients.
So the type of resources available in this planning process and everything, I know that you have a lot of um, online resources for travel advisors to work with. Can you tell us a little bit about those resources that are used to design the perfect trip?
Absolutely. I mean, we consider ourselves the resources because we have the knowledge and we have the expertise. Uh, all of our, hotel properties are vetted, so we do send our travel designers, literally, we send them to the hotels so they can take a look at them and make sure that it's up to our standards because, something that you look at in January could be different in September. So we're really meticulous about that. Also, our land partners, we've been working with them for 32 years. So we use them as a resource also. Um, as far as on the website, we also have a tab, if you're going to arts-leisure.com, that says inspirations. And the inspirations are our inspirational sample itineraries. So you can get ideas. So the travel advisors can get ideas, the customers can get ideas of where to go, what to do. We also have a resource of really talking to you. So if the travel advisor hasn't been to a particular destination, and of course they can't be everywhere, and they can't be an expert in everything, we are happy to talk with the travel advisor and the client together. So, if there are many questions and the travel advisor is feeling uncomfortable, we are happy to step in. And again, it's a collaboration, it's a partnership. So that's one of our biggest resources.
So yeah, now you mentioned your partners overseas and the destination management companies or DMCs as they're known throughout Europe. And how does your company select your travel partners in these destinations? And how do these partners support the level of service that and the quality of service that you pledge, Arts and Leisure as a company pledges to travel advisors and their clients?
Yeah, a great question because that's really important. It's really important to be able to trust who you're working with. And so, our selection process, I mean, we have to find out first if the company is viable. Many of our land partners we've been working with literally for 32 years. But, if there are problems with a particular land partner, we go in search of a new one. And they have to align with our philosophy, and that is responding in a timely fashion, providing 24/7 service. We ourselves provide a 24/7 emergency number. And so the clients are never left, high and dry. There's always somebody answering that phone. I always get the question, how long does it take to get a call back? It doesn't.
Mhm.
We're answering that phone. So we also have to have work with a company that has liability insurance. It's very important for us because we have to trust in our partners completely because we have different partners for different things. Whether
Sure.
it's a private tour or a transfer, et cetera. And I can get into our products in a little bit. But the important thing is that uh, we really do vet our partners and that they align with our philosophy of service first, quality first, client
So
first.
yeah, so you've been naming that you work with. Of course, you have your hotel partners, you have transportation partners, and so name the services that you do provide. In addition to a little bit, elaborate a little bit more on some of the things you have just mentioned.
Okay, so well, we have, obviously, we're a luxury company, so we have five-star hotel properties, but we also have four-star hotel properties because luxury means different things to different people.
Mhm.
So it could
Right.
be, a four-star hotel that's architecturally inspiring. It could be a four-star hotel that has boutique service where the staff knows your clients' names.
Yeah.
So again, we vet every property, and when people say the hotel's not important, we don't believe that. After, I mean, I can understand why people want to put more into the experience because it's all about experiential experiences right now, and coming back and having, bragging rights, guess where my travel advisor sent me. But
Right.
y- at the end of the day, after your sightseeing and after you've done your fabulous excursion, you do need a safe haven. You do need a place to say where you can open up your suitcase and not be against a wall, or you're not, looking out the window against what it's
Exactly.
important. So
Yeah.
we do have those 4-star properties. We also have villas. We have apartments, and, all over. We do the private touring, so and I'll get into some examples in a little bit, but again, they mirror what we're asking the travel advisor, if you're asking for example, like a walking tour. That's, what exactly does that mean? Is it because your clients are art lovers? We'll get an art expert or an art historian. Is it because you have a family traveling, and so we ask the ages of the kids so the guide will be fun and engaging for the kids? Does it mean that they're foodies? And so we gear the walking tour with a food tour. Do your clients have disabilities? Are the kids autistic? Anything like that. We get that special guide. So it's not that simple as just, I want a walking tour. It's very
Right.
specialized. So private touring, private transfers. I always say that, the private transfer is really, it's your first service. You need that private transfer. You get off the plane, you're tired, you're hungry, you're crabby. You want to get to your hotel. You don't need to worry about where's my Uber, is the taxi going to rip me off, whatever it is. But you seeing that sign that says, "Welcome,
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Smith." I'm being taken care of. And this is
Right.
what luxury is about. It's the feeling
Yep.
I'm being taken care of. So,
Yeah.
when people say, "Oh, no, no, I can just grab a cab," it sets the tone for the whole trip.
Yep. Yeah. You're absolutely right on.
So we also do shore excursions in pre
Mhm.
and post. So when you're booking a cruise, why go with 100 of your new best friends when you can do
Yeah.
something privatized and personalized? It's important. Again, you come back after that excursion and people were like, "Oh my God, the lines to get into that bus or to get into this, whichever." And then the clients are walking through saying, "Oh no, we did this and we did that." And, it makes for a much better experience. Same thing with pre and post. I mean, most of the cruise lines, I'm not saying all the cruise lines, they, um, it's pretty cookie cutter, their pre and post. This way, we can do something special for the clients because we know what they want. We know what they're thinking. We also have luxury yachts. We can do it anywhere. We have private jets. We do trains. We do ferries. People are like, "Yay, trains!"
Mhm.
And we do trains, for a couple of reasons because one, they go hand in hand with the private transfers, but
Yeah.
two, because as a lot, everybody knows, there are a lot of strikes in Europe.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so we need to be aware of that. We are aware of that. We are
Yeah.
protecting the clients. We are one step ahead. We know what we're doing.
Yeah.
I can give you a quick example of one of the things that we did. We had a family of four who were in Naples, Italy, train strike. They had a 9 hour layover. Just so happens that our office in Naples is very close to the train station. So the managing director went and got the clients. They brought them back to the office. They made them coffee. And what we did was we arranged a walking tour for them. They had 9 hours. What were they going to do for the 9 hours? And this was on us because we take care of your clients. So if anything happens, we can't be everywhere, of course. It just has
Right.
to happen that they were in Naples at the time, but that's why we do trains. So trains, ferries, um, luxury car rentals, if your clients want to, drive a Ferrari, a Lamborghini, we can do
Yeah.
that, or
Yeah.
just a regular car rental. So those
Sure.
are the services that we offer.
Yeah, and you're so right, about luxury meaning different things to different people. It's not always about necessarily a dollar amount that defines luxury, but it is the what's important to somebody. And I always think that people who are they don't live that kind of maybe a wealthy lifestyle every day. That's not their their life, but when they go on vacation, they like to splurge,
They
and
do.
they will spend money on special experiences and memories. And so that's what luxury travel is all about. I couldn't agree with you more about the transfer when you arrive and you come out of immigration and baggage claim. There's uh, no better feeling than to see your name as you on a
Exactly.
sign, as you mentioned, and know that okay, this trip is getting off to a great start and everything. And it's gonna be wonderful. So I agree with you. The
Yeah.
transfer, that private
Important.
transfer is
Mhm.
so important. Um, but so you named all the different kinds of services and special arrangements that you can make. But I also know that you have, a division within the company. You serve the LGBTQ market. Tell us a little bit more about that division of the company and what you do to for the LGBTQ traveler.
Absolutely. So we just felt we did this about 2 years ago, and we just felt that it was really important to create a safe space and a safe haven for, all LGBTQ travelers because there's nothing worse than assumptions. If you're planning a trip, you're so excited about travel, and travel is just beautiful until it's not, until you're not really recognized. If you have a hotel room and you have, if it's a Mr. and a Mr., you have two separate beds. We make sure that there's one bed, that the note doesn't say
Right.
welcome Mr. and Mrs. Things like that, attention to detail. It's very,
Mhm.
very important, and it makes the client feel very comfortable. We can also do special tours. We can obviously
Mhm.
do anything streamlined, but say your clients have particular interests. Say they're in London and they want to do a food tour. We can do something like we can go to only gay-owned restaurants, and so to make this experience, yeah, even more special for them. If they're going to, a pride event, we can arrange something around the pride event. uh, we are all IGTLA certified, so we've all taken the sensitivity training, but we just really wanted to. I mean, we vetted our land partners. We weren't
Mhm.
surprised at all that, everybody was on board, and we have many, many gay-owned land partners. So we just felt that regardless of race, religion, gender, identity, that
Right.
we need to be hyper aware, and make sure that the clients are feeling safe wherever they travel.
Yeah. Well, I think that's great. And again, I was just with so many travelers, everybody loves to travel. They all want to travel. They all want a wonderful time, no matter who they are. And I think that that's special that you can tailor arrangements and address all needs in that way. Um, so. Describe some of the most specialized services that your company has helped create. You mentioned, villas and yachts, and so those are really special. But anything that comes to mind that you would say is a highly specialized
Well,
service.
let me tell you, we've I have stories, but I'll tell you a particular one. We were working with an agent for a while, calls us up, frantic. Oh my God, you have to help me. I don't know what to do. Sure, absolutely. What can we do? My clients want to go to Paris. Okay, sure. We don't really think that's unusual to go to Paris, but sure. No, 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 you don't understand. My clients, husband and wife, have been to Paris many times, but this time the wife wants to go as Marie Antoinette.
Oh,
Okay, sure, we can do that. So what we ended up doing was we got her measurements. We got his measurements too, because the husband was a super good sport about this. We got her measurements. We ordered a dress, long dress, off-white, brocade, hair up to here. And we arranged a horse-drawn carriage to pick them up every morning so they could do their sightseeing and,
uh-huh.
and go around Paris. They went to Versailles. And this was her fantasy. This was her dream. We saw pictures. I wish I could share them, but I can't.
Yeah,
But we find more and more after COVID that people want to,
great.
you know, they want to fulfill their dreams, they want to fulfill their
Yeah.
fantasies, whatever it is, you know. So we were able to make this dream come true for this client, and she was thrilled. I mean,
Yeah.
the travel advisor was thrilled, they were thrilled. So, you know, we do things like this. Another example is we had a client who was a paraplegic, and his life's dream was to go to Venice. Now, you know that Venice, like on a good day, is difficult to get around because everything, you know, up and
Mhm.
down with the bridges and everything. But we were able to make this happen, and we were able to with the ramps and all the special services because again, we knew that this client was a paraplegic, so we could, you know, talk to our land partners and get this done. And this man, you know, God bless him, is now, you know, has been traveling all over Europe and not just Venice.
Yeah, wow, that's those are amazing examples. I think popular culture nowadays, movies and TV shows a lot influence people's dreams and inspiration for travel. So I don't think it's almost like there's no request that is that strange anymore because
No,
everybody has
no,
these.
we're really good when you're getting that client that you know, you're just kind of rolling your eyes, going, "Oh my God, who do I call for that?"
Yeah, right.
We're really good at brainstorming and thinking out of the box. And to your point, John, we did so many trips around the Taylor Swift concerts.
Yeah.
You
Oh,
know,
I'm sure.
you know, we did a family that were going, family of five,
Yeah.
went to four Taylor Swift concerts, and we did not get the tickets for the Taylor Swift concerts, but we did everything around it. You know, all the
Mhm.
experiences. You know, and they were in Switzerland, and they were in Amsterdam, and they were in France. So that's very popular. And as you said, too, books are very popular too. Whether
Yes.
you know, like
Right.
the Harry Potter books or the oh my gosh, it's a Percy. mm, The
Oh,
in
yeah. I
it
don't know
flies out of
the
my mind, but we did a whole trip
sure.
around that because
Right.
the kids were really into the
Yeah.
Percy. Oh gosh, I can't.
Yeah. I'm not
But
sure who was
in
in it.
Greece, you know,
Yes.
so but I also we talked to advisors who are very active in book clubs, and they
Yes.
read a book and they want to
Mhm.
go to the places where, you know,
Yeah.
the book takes you. So that's
Right.
very popular also. So, you know, we're open. We're
Yeah, well, that's just like that the book Under the Tuscan Sun, and I think there was a movie to
yeah.
follow and so forth, and that really triggered a lot of travel to Italy back when that book came out, and Tuscany, of course, in particular. Um, so, talk about the A&L collection. What does this mean for clients? Describe the quality of the amenities and services exclusive to arts and leisure guests.
Well, yes. So we created a collection with preferred partners because, as I said, you know, we know the owners, we know the general managers, we know the sales managers. So it's all about relationships in general for us because, you know, to have a good relationship with an advisor, you know, you have to have a good relationship with your hotels. You have to have a good relationship with your land partners. So we have great relationships, and because of these great relationships, we're able to give added value to the clients. So each and every client, so on the website there is a badge. It says, you know, A&L, it's gold, it flashes, you can't miss it. Those indicate our preferred partners. So if you click on that hotel, a menu will come out and it will tell you about the amenities down there. Each and every hotel does something different. Usually kind of standard is early check-in and late checkout,
Okay,
which is
yeah.
important. But
Yes.
we have, you know, a complimentary dinner, a complimentary
Mhm.
upgrade. It could be a complimentary rooftop drink and appetizer. You know, it could be a bottle of limoncello. It could be an excursion to Murano, a gelato tasting, and I'm just talking about in Italy right now, but we do
Sure.
so much more than Italy. But just to give you examples that because of our partnerships, we're able to give this added value. And the thing is, it comes from the agent, you know, from the advisor, because you know
Yeah.
we don't. You know, we want everybody to look like a rock star. We don't have to be
Mhm.
up front and center.
Right.
We want the clients to have a great time, and having a great time is also with the added value with the special amenities, again, it makes the the client feel special. And
Oh,
that's the
absolutely.
feeling that we want to continue from the moment that they land to the
Mm.
moment that they depart.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's wonderful. And so I would imagine, how do you vet the hotels to deliver the highest quality in that case? It's a matter of working with them to say, okay, these are the amenities that we want our guests to have. How does that go?
So the product department,
Okay.
we have contracts, we
Yeah.
have contractual rates with all of our hotel partners. That's why we
Mhm.
don't just quote hotels only. We quote hotels with other components because
Okay.
we have non-disclosure clauses. And the product department says, you want to be a preferred partner of arts and
Okay.
leisure. If you do, then you need to give us some kind of, wow amenity.
Right.
And so that's how it works.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. So what steps does arts and leisure take when problems arrive or plans have to change due to circumstances beyond, someone's control? You mentioned a few minutes ago about the train strikes in Europe, and Naples in particular was the example you used.
Well, we have a 24/7 emergency number. And so, if anything goes wrong, we're on top of it.
Hmm.
You know, so let's say that it's not something like I can't find my transfer, which is pretty innocuous, but
Yeah,
it happens a lot that
sure.
they can't find the transfer. So, they call the emergency number and then they're like, oh, there he is.
Yes.
Whatever. But if something more serious happens, and say the client is not happy, um, we will bring it to our customer resolution department, and Lucy in our Toronto office is a very kind and a very empathetic person, but she's also like a dog with a bone. So she is on top of it. She's
Yeah.
doing her due diligence. She's talking to our land partner. She's talking to the travel advisor. We are solving the problem. The key word is quick. Whether it's a full refund, a partial refund, no refund at all, depending on the circumstances. But what we tend to do if something like this happens, and I think this is really something that sets us apart from other companies, is that we're very proactive in making sure that the client, even if something's happened and they're unhappy, we we put something in their room. They're
Mhm.
coming back and we're doing
Mhm.
something extra. We're going the extra
Mhm.
mile uh, to make sure that this doesn't ruin
Yeah.
their trip, because it's
Right.
it's important that they know that we are there. We're in touch with everybody. We're taking care of the problem. We're sorry for whatever happened, and here's a little gesture of
Right. No, that's wonderful, because I think, someone's on a 2 week trip and one thing goes wrong, you certainly don't want that to cloud the whole experience, and because there's a lot, in a 2 week trip and everything, there's going to be a lot of wonderful experiences in there. So certainly one thing should not spoil the
no.
whole trip. So that's wonderful. You take care of it right away. I would also wanted to ask you, share with us two trips, different clients, different destinations of the most extraordinary trips you've seen your company plan. And I know we keep bringing up Italy, and you mentioned a moment ago,
Yeah, we do.
there's a lot of other countries too that you're arranging travel to. So these don't doesn't have to be examples in Italy. You could also pick.
Right. I mean, so first of all, before I get into the examples, I would like to say, where our portfolio is, so we
Yeah,
do all of Europe, not just Italy. We did start with Italy because Adriana was born and raised in Napoli, and so it was just uh,
sure.
second nature to start that way. But
Yeah.
Italy turned into France, turned into Spain, so we do all of Europe. And that means Slovenia and Germany and Malta and England.
Yeah.
I would say our top five destinations are Italy, Spain, France, Portugal, and Greece. Another top five, Iceland, Ireland, Croatia, Scandinavian countries, and Switzerland. But as I said, we do
Mhm.
everything, and what we're especially good at are multi-country itineraries. So
Yeah.
that's really important. So you're not going to different companies. Everything stays under one umbrella. You're working with one travel designer. So trips. Well, we've done many different trips. I mean, you have one example of an agent who called and said, "My clients want to do a pen tour." And we're like, "Okay, what's a pen tour?" Well, he was a collector of pens.
Oh,
He wanted to visit the
see?
manufacturers. Now, that's actually
Mhm.
not a very easy thing to do, because
Sure.
manufacturers don't want just consumers coming in. And this was a month-long trip. He was traveling with his wife. We were able to arrange for him to go to Parker Pens in Naples, Italy, to Mont Blanc in France, to
Oh, okay.
Schaefer's in Germany. Now,
Wow.
the wife wanted nothing to do with the pens. So it was like two separate itineraries. We had a personal shopper for her. She did cooking classes. She did her, treatments. She, did some, um, guided tours
Yeah.
with museums. So, that's one of the, more unusual ones that we've
Yeah, I
done.
would say, yeah.
We've also done opera tours,
Yeah.
and that has encompassed many, many places besides Italy. They went to Rome and Naples, but also Vienna and Prague and
Yeah.
Budapest
Yeah.
and Paris. And, you're not just doing, of course, in this type of tour, you're not doing
Sure.
just opera, but it was based on opera. They had um, uh, experts in the field. They did a lot of different excursions around music and visiting museums, but they also, they did shopping tours and they did
Mhm.
tastings and things like that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Oh, wow, that's neat. Yeah, opera there, I could see that being um more popular than visiting pen factories, but
Right, exactly.
yeah.
We again, we do this based on, what the advisor, what the client is telling us, because if they're like they love gardens, or they love
Yes.
visiting gardens, we can do a whole trip around visiting European gardens or the Chelsea Flower Show. But,
Sure.
and we've done that in the past. We've done
Yeah.
painting tours where there's a group from like an artist studios, and we've picked out the places. So, like the van has, all the paint supplies and the painting supplies and the easels and everything. And we arrange that and we go to different places. It's not a set tour that we have, but it's something that, what we do is very highly customized, so, we design, we curate, we create. So nothing is really cookie cutter, but that's something that we have done.
Yeah.
And we've also done like an empty suitcase tour, which is a great
Okay.
name, and you're welcome to steal it. We don't care. But
Yeah.
we did an empty suitcase tour of a group of women who wanted to go antiquing. They wanted to furnish their homes. And so they went to Umbria, and they would come back. Of course, the antiques would not really fit into the suitcase, but
Yeah.
we took care of the shipping, we took care of the handling,
Okay.
and they went truffle hunting, and they did a lot of other
Yeah.
experiences
Yeah.
along with that. So, you
Oh,
know,
how neat. Yeah. I know one of our travel advisors told me they had a customer that wanted to visit the oldest bookstores throughout England, Scotland, Wales. So that's also, and you never know what someone's passion
No,
or
you absolutely never know.
hobbies.
That's why we have the arts that encompasses
Yeah,
everything. You just really never know.
exactly. Well, that's great. I mean, is there anything else that you would like to tell our audience today as we wrap up?
Just, we're a very hands-on company. We're not a huge company, and we don't want to be a huge company because we give the personal touch, we give the service, we give the quality, so we're involved in every aspect of the trip. As trite as it might sound, we actually really care. And so each and every client and advisor are important to us. And that's really kind of our mantra.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you're just experts at planning and designing amazing trips and amazing experiences. And so, Diana, I want to thank you today for
Can I say
sharing.
one more thing I didn't say?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I realized that I didn't, I just talked about Europe because like I'm so passionate about Europe, but
Right.
we also do the Caribbean, Mexico, North and Central
Oh,
America. So I apologize for not saying that. And
okay.
Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji. So we're not just Europe. We started as Europe, but we expanded because we had to during the pandemic because
Right.
nobody
Yeah.
could get their clients to Europe. So
Yeah.
we took a deep dive. We hired somebody in November of 2020. And so we have the villas there, we have the hotels, we have the
Okay.
excursions in all of these
Right.
places, and plus Australia, New Zealand, and Fiji.
Yeah, so your portfolio, total portfolio is quite comprehensive
It is
and broad. So but that's great because then somebody travels with you in one destination, they know that they could rely on your services and quality and everything in another destination that could be on the other side
absolutely,
of the world.
absolutely.
So
Yes,
that's wonderful. Well, Diana, thank you so much for being with us today and loved our conversation.
I did too.
And everything sounds amazing. And thank you.
Thank you, John. It was a pleasure.